Well, hey guys, it's about time I shared with you some sunscreen empties. I've finished a ton of sunscreen since my last empties video. Speaking of which, I have another recent empties non-sunscreen edition video that if you missed, definitely check it out after you watch this one. The reason I like doing sunscreen empties videos for you guys is that it really gives me the opportunity to talk about products that I finished up to completion and really give you guys like the rundown, not only based off of using the product for a couple of months, but like actually finishing it and putting it through several conditions. That includes the Houston summer, which is really a testament to a sunscreen's performance because I live in a high heat, extreme humidity climate in the summer months. Sunscreen can be an incredible pain point in the summer months here if you don't choose wisely. It's a necessity because our UV is intense here. Before I get into it, a couple of things that I take into account when looking at a sunscreen is, well, what exactly is the type of sunscreen? Is it chemical? Is it mineral? Is it hybrid? And honestly, any of these three categories is more than fine, but you'll notice I tend to prefer chemical sunscreens. In fact, I think everything in this bucket here is a chemical sunscreen, meaning it's got organic compounds as the active UV protecting ingredients. I really like these because of the other factor that I consider, the finish. Is it heavy? Is it greasy? I find that organic sunscreens tend to not be that way. They tend to allow for formulations that are a lot more breathable, which is super important when also factoring in another thing I care about, and that is how a particular formulation is going to perform in certain conditions. And like I said, in my case, it's namely going to be high heat, high humidity. The last thing I want is a thick paste on my face, slowing down the evaporation of sweat, limiting my body's ability to efficiently cool itself. That is a recipe for disaster. We don't want that, okay? We do not want that. I also like to consider, is this a water resistant formula? Because if I'm going to be spending time outdoors in this heat, I need water resistance because otherwise the sweat will start pouring out. If it's not water resistant, it's going to come off a lot more quickly. I need sunscreens that are cooperative with reapplication. The last thing I want to do is have some thick, greasy, goopy paste on my face and then apply more of it on a couple of hours later when I'm already hot and sweaty. No, thank you. I also think about if I had a beard, would this go on my face well or not? Okay, so I'll point that out here as well. And you know, sort of an added bonus to sunscreens is that, hey, they're moisturizers. And also they can be delivering certain ingredients like antioxidants, like niacinamide. And I consider those additional perks of a given formula. It comes from Purito, which you guys know is a Korean brand. They formulated a sunscreen though for the US market, meaning there are no novel sunscreen ingredients in this, just the good old fashioned organic sunscreen ingredients that we get in pretty much any American chemical sunscreen. And so I was thinking, oh, okay, all right, whatever. But this one really surprised me because the formula was so nice. It has been so nice to use. I'm actually using another tube of it now that I finished this one a while back. First of all, it's fragrance free. Second of all, it's the kind of sunscreen that you're putting on in the morning and you're like, oh, okay, wait, I put sunscreen on because it's so moisturizer, right? Like you're putting it on. If you didn't know it was sunscreen, you just think you were putting moisturizer on. Lightweight, sort of gel-like texture. 10 out of 10 would repurchase this. Never pilled for me under any products. Not water resistant though, so it's not one of those for outdoor activities. We have a weed whacker going in the back. Okay, so sorry about any background noise, but this is their all-day airy sunscreen SPF 50+. This one uses some more novel sunscreen filters like Uvinol A+ and Uvinol T150. It's fragrance-free. The texture is super silky, super smooth, not greasy. If your skin leans towards being more sensitive, this is one to consider. Easy to use around the eyelid area as well. No facial burning, no stinging. Another one like the Purito one that you put on and you don't even realize you're putting sunscreen on. No sunscreen smell. I absolutely would buy this again, 100%. I think it came in one of those advent calendars that I got in PR, or maybe I bought it. I can't remember at this point, but I loved it. It's cosmetically elegant, and I almost felt like it smoothed out little necklines too. Okay, now this is their Collagen Bank SPF moisturizer. It's an SPF 30 facial moisturizer with, again, chemical sunscreen filters in it, fragrance free. But let me tell you, people get confused about this Collagen Bank thing because they're like, what, huh? Collagen and skincare, that doesn't get in. No. There is a tiny little peptide in this that they have spent 15 years developing. There's actual studies looking at the penetration of this peptide into the skin. Spoiler alert, it penetrates into the skin quite well. It doesn't just sit at the surface, okay? Penetrates well. And there's actual clinical studies on human volunteers showing that the micropeptide improves the appearance of wrinkles. So, I mean, not like cancer curing research here, but as far as cosmetic ingredients, this one, they put a lot of work into that ingredient, and this overall formulation, which includes that ingredient, is amazing. Fragrance free, if I didn't already mention that 7 times. Nice, lightweight formula, moisturizing and protective. This is one to use days when you're mostly indoors though. It's not water resistant, so I wouldn't rely on it for sport or anything of that nature. But I am on another pump bottle of this. I want to say I'm currently on the 3rd pump bottle. I would definitely repurchase this. Now, I recently used up their vitamin C serum with this micropeptide. Recently, I finished up the vitamin C serum with this micropeptide. If you missed my review on that, check that out. And I'm not a big fan of using vitamin C. That one was fine, but I love using the micropeptide in just this facial moisturizer with SPF. Like, it's offering multiple benefits, and it's a relatively affordable formula for a daily moisturizer. So definitely 10 out of 10 would repurchase that one. Okay, now this is one that is new to me this year, and I really liked quite a bit. It's from the brand Dune Sun Care. It's their Mug Guard SPF 30. This is water resistant, 40 minutes. And what I liked about this is that it's this nice gel-like formula that has this matte finish to it. This is perfect for hair-bearing areas because it's that gel-like finish that goes into hair easily. This was wonderful in the humidity, likely because of the overall texture. It's lightweight, it's super breathable, and because it's water resistant, I didn't have to worry about sweating it off immediately. And it was really easy to reapply every 2 hours to my face and neck. If I was going to be spending any amount of time outdoors, I really appreciated this formula. I would definitely repurchase it, but at the time of buying it, it was on the pricier side. Now, I've noticed the price has come down a bit on Amazon, but I would absolutely consider repurchasing it if on sale. I rather enjoyed this. Now, a side note, they do make this sunscreen in a body formula, which is in a larger bottle and per unit is less costly. However, the body formulation has added fragrance, which is a common allergen some people can't use or don't enjoy. But I wanted to point that out because I didn't find that one to look any different on the skin in comparison to this or to perform any differently. And as someone who typically hates fragrance and skincare products, that one I didn't mind on my face much. Really, really good though for humid climates. Now, this is one that, yes, I would repurchase. I've repurchased it many times. It's one of my most frequently repurchased Korean sunscreens. It's the Haruharu Wonder Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Daily Sunscreen SPF 50. This uses some more novel ingredients like Uvinol A+, Tinosorb. So it's a chemical sunscreen again, like all of these. Really nice, non-greasy finish. Beautiful under makeup. Another one where it's like, wait, did I just apply sunscreen? It's easy to apply liberally too, which is what you want to be doing with sunscreen. Like, it's easy to put it on and put more on and put more on. Really, really friendly for the skin. Nice spread, doesn't clump up or pill, doesn't go on streaky, doesn't take forever, and no white cast. 10 out of 10 would repurchase that one. Okay, this is one that is newer this year. It's Bondi Sands SPF 60 Sunny Drops. So this is a lightweight, fluid, fragrance-free chemical sunscreen formula. And y'all know I'm a longtime fan of the Bondi Sands fragrance-free sunscreens. So this new line I wanted to test out, and I did a whole dedicated review on. But of the products, this is the one that I actually finished up. And I have to say I went through it pretty quickly. I want to warn you guys though, this is marketed as Sunny Drops, but do not drop this into other products, mix them together, and then put it on your face. Never do that with sunscreen. Sunscreen should always just just be applied directly to the face. Don't mix it into stuff, because as soon as you mix things into your sunscreen or mix your sunscreen into other things, the protection is gone. You no longer have sun protection at that point. It messes up the ability of the filters to lie down. All sorts of chaos ensues when you do that. So don't mistake this as something that you can drop into like your foundation to add sunscreen to it. It just doesn't work that way. I found this product kind of annoying as far as the dropper bottle. I would just much rather prefer this to be in a regular bottle, not the dropper. I find the dropper kind of annoying. You get all this residue on the outside of the pipette, and then it's like kind of dries a little bit. It's just a mess. I didn't like that. But this spread on the skin pretty efficiently. I found that it layered under makeup really well, had a nice sort of demi matte finish, wasn't greasy. I really enjoyed using it. Like I said, though, I did go through it pretty quickly. Another note about fluid formulas like this, you see people use the finger length method for estimating how much sunscreen to use on the face. That is a reasonable way to go about guesstimating how much sunscreen you should use, but be really careful doing that when it comes to a fluid formula, because you can get very little sunscreen on an entire finger when it's in that fast spread fluid formula and undershoot the amount that you need. So that is one pitfall with the fluid formulas, is that you can lean into under application practices with them. You get too confident because they spread so quickly, so efficiently on the skin. But in doing so, you know, it's a very thin layer, and for the sunscreen to be working, it's got to be on there at a sufficient density. So be really careful about under applying, and of course make sure you apply to all surfaces. Don't skip around your eyes, don't skip your neck, and don't skip your ears. And yes, this one was easy for me to use around the eyelids as well. Okay, and then speaking of fluid formulas, see, they gave me a packaging that I much prefer. Very similar consistency here with the Byoma ultralight fluid SPF 50 broad spectrum sunscreen. This was one that I had no problem making my way through. Really enjoyed it. It has astaxanthin, which is an antioxidant that may defend against environmental aggressors. It has hyaluronic acid, which is very hydrating. Really enjoyed the finish on this. Not greasy at all. Very sort of demi matte finish. Gave it a nice healthy glow without being overly shiny. No problem putting makeup on over it. No pilling or anything of that sort. This one really pleased me. 2 bits. Anua Zero Cast Moisturizing Finish Sunscreen. This is a Korean brand, but this sunscreen is formulated for the American market. So it has just the regular organic chemical, if you will, sunscreen active ingredients, avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, and octocrylene. But this one is actually water resistant, which I really like, especially for humidity. It's a thicker cream, but the spread is very efficient. Okay, it doesn't take a lot of effort to spread it on, and easy to tolerate around the eyes. No burning, no stinging. Feels just like you put moisturizer on. Easy to apply liberally. Easy. I mean, you're like, okay, I'll put another. Why not put a little more on? Why not put a little more on? Now, they do give you this little cup here on the top to aliquot the sunscreen on and put. I don't like stuff like that. It's like, let's spend more time putting it on our face and less time like baking with it in the kitchen. Okay, I don't. For me personally, it's like teaspoons, fingers. I get them for the, you know, just kind of giving yourself a sense of how much you need. But I mean, I just rather put it straight on my face, because I just find that like once you put it on here and then you put it to your face, it's just a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So I don't enjoy. I never use this, but this you saw me use in a lot of short form content that I did, emphasizing different points about sunscreen, and people were like, "You're applying way too much." No, honey, you're applying way too little. Main reason why sunscreen fails people is they don't apply enough of it. And when you show people how to apply it liberally, they were like, "Oh my God, I could never." Well, you could, but you just have to be open to putting it on. And you got to find one that you like, which, let me interject here. These are sunscreens I like. These are sunscreens I like and worked out for me. Things I liked about them, but doesn't mean that these will work out for you. It's a bit of a journey to find a sunscreen that's going to work for you. Some people find that they just irritate their skin if they use certain ones, and it's really a pain. So I empathize with that. But you got to be applying them liberally and reapplying, and you've got to be leaning into other sun protective behaviors too. Like, don't just go outside and expect that the sunscreen alone is adequate for you to then be in a bikini and laying there on a towel with an UV index, you know, of 9 while you get a tan. Like, it's like blueberries in a bowl of of tricks, okay? Are you really being that healthy at that point? Like, probably not. Coming in, last but certainly not least, all right, is an SPF lip balm. You need to be putting sunscreen on your lip. You do. The lips are really vulnerable to environmental aggressors. They're exposed. They don't have that protective stratum corneum like the rest of your skin. They don't have the melanin content to shield the DNA. And so it's really wimpy skin, basically. Prone to wrinkles around the mouth. And it's an area where skin cancers do pop up. So I'm big on sunscreen on the lips. But sometimes the facial sunscreens that you use, you can put them on the lips, and I encourage you to do that. But sometimes you'll get a formula that kind of feels like it's drying out your lips a little bit, or it doesn't quite seem like it stays on your lips, or you end up getting it into your mouth and you're like, oh my God, this tastes terrible. So I'm a big fan of SPF lip balms. I did a whole video reviewing a ton of them earlier this year, and in that video was an oldie but a goodie, the Banana Boat Sunscreen Lip Balm, SPF 45, water resistant 80 minutes. You know, you'd be surprised how many SPF lip balms are not water resistant, and it's a great feature to have. Just think about it. The lips are like constantly exposed to water, lip licking, little droplets of saliva, and they're constantly under friction too. Drinking, talking. You need to apply SPF lip balms more frequently, arguably, than you do the rest of your face sunscreen. And so you want one that's water resistant if you're going to be doing stuff outside. If you're going to be participating in sport outside, yeah, you really want a good water resistant SPF lip balm. Highly recommend the Banana Boat ones. Not only are they affordable, not only are they water resistant, SPF 45 is pretty good. You'll notice in that SPF lip balm video, a lot of them are coming in at 15, 20, fine, but 45, that's good. The higher the SPF, the more likely you are to get a good amount of protection on the lips. And so I'm a big fan of that. The one downside about the Banana Boat one is that it does have flavorant, and I actually love the little flavorant that it has. There's something just like so nostalgic, because I've been using Banana Boat off and on my entire life. Spoiler alert, I'm not dead yet. Banana Boat is a brand, a side note, that the clean beauty market loves to hate on and fearmonger. But I've been putting so much Banana Boat on my body, and I'm still here, okay? Keep calm and carry on. But flavorants in lip balms, aka they're fragrances, and they may be a potential allergen for you, or they could be irritating. Some people find them irritating, but the Banana Boat formula, aside from that, is just amazing. And it's very moisturizing. I just love it. No white cast, stays on well, and is so inexpensive. It's just like a no-brainer. They have this one, and then they have another one that's labeled Sport, I think, which is also really good. The main thing about this one that differs from that is that it's got the aloe vera thing in there, which is kind of just marketing at this point. If you can interject aloe vera into the conversation, then suddenly you can like reinvent the wheel. Like an aloe vera in a skincare product could just be anything from water from the plant, basically. Aloe vera does have, you know, some hydrating compounds, antioxidants, humectants. It's got compounds in it called allicins that may help with hyperpigmentation. So it's not a wasted ingredient by any means, but I do find that sometimes brands are like, oh, could we put aloe in this and change it to something else and get more people's attention with it? So I kind of think that's what Banana Boat did there, but I ain't mad at you because that is a great formula. And so I definitely would repurchase that one and have used their SPF lip balms for years. All right, guys, those are the sunscreens that I have recently finished up a couple of days ago at this point, weeks ago, because I don't know when this video is going up in relation to others. I did a video where I rank sunscreens, okay? And if you're someone who's finding yourself confused, like, oh, zinc or chemical or where do I start? That's the video to check out, because I rank different sunscreens based on things that people care about and things that I think are important as a dermatologist. And I tell you what sunscreens or sun protective products to avoid. So that one will be on the end slate if you missed it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.